Right then, what we want to try and do is ensure consistency of when we're setting tasks for our pupils to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through on PARS. This is a year 10 class of mine. So I'm just going to go in and show you this particular task. This is a task for Tuesday. And if I just look at the title first of all. Okay, so what we want to see on title is name of the class. Okay, so I've got my code there, and our subject, and the dates, period, and I've also added there what the actual topic of the lesson was. You're going to go and put some detail in. Okay, so there you go. Right, you can add a little bit of detail. Now, this particular lesson was actually, or sort of the main kind of detail of it was actually on Google Classroom. I've started using Google Classroom now. I've just found that easier in terms of uploading work. But however you upload work, it is important that we're actually putting all the information on PARS as well, for just for consistency there. So it's absolutely fine to go and use Google Classroom. Google Classroom is fantastic. It's brilliant. Like I said, I've been using it. I found it really actually quite easy to use. But we still want everything logged on PARS here. So if I take you through just a couple of other things here. So do put a task on. Don't just leave it no category. I say most things will probably be standard tasks, but actually there's quite a lot of other options there that you might want to go and pick in instead. So please sort of feel free to go through those. Now I actually set this task on Monday, so it would just do that as a default, depending on when you actually put the task sort of live on PARS. But obviously you could change it to, I could have changed that to the 24th. Now I put the end date. I put it is Wednesday because I actually had my next lesson with them on the Wednesday, so I wanted this done before that particular lesson. Obviously, we're going to give them a little bit of flexibility over this sort of time. So I'm not necessarily going to go and hammer them with C1 sort of straight away on that, but clearly that might need to be done at some point. If you look down a little bit further, we got estimated time there. Well, if you're expecting 60 minutes, then put 60 minutes down. Again, the pupils need that guidance. Some pupils, believe it or not, if you don't put that down, will spend hours and hours on one lesson. Whereas of course some might spend about 2 minutes. So put 60 minutes. That's what you expected them to do. And of course the button at the bottom. All right. Now again, if you want the work uploaded to Insight, then tick the button. Right now it's fantastic. This particular system, which I can show you on assignees in a second. But I've already seen people, they've said, oh no, not able to upload work to Insight. Well, actually, sometimes it's quite often teachers' fault, and they haven't actually ticked that little button just there, right? Tick the button if you want the work to be uploaded via Insight. Okay, now, like I said, I didn't need it for this particular task because I wanted them to go into Google Classroom to go and upload their work there. So I look at the assignee. So if they had have uploaded, right, we got evidence there, and remember it would be coming up there, and just go click on it, and it's probably just a picture of their work. Don't necessarily need to see all of their work. I've just, as long as I can see some evidence of what they've been doing, then generally I'm kind of quite happy about that. And then remember, you can actually add a comment there as well if you just go and click there for comment. Now, if I just go down a little bit further, I haven't actually quite finished this one. All right, so just getting the idea here about ticks and crosses. Okay, who's done the work, who hasn't done the work. Now, it is important that we tick and cross them off. If you tick them off, it takes it off of their sort of tasks to do. It tells them that they've actually done the task, right? So it's going to make their life so much easier, and it's also going to so many advantages to you as well. And if they haven't done the work, right, so cross it there. Now I'm going to need to come back and review this, but I said that I did this in Google Classroom. So what I've actually got just here, if I can just show you, look, look, I've just got the last few here. So although it's submitted through Google Classroom, I am still going to go and cross them off here, and hopefully more ticks than crosses. I'm going to give them a little bit of a break, these pupils, the ones who've not done the work. You'll notice a couple of people there where the work's missing. Well, they have actually, they've gone into the Google Classroom. They just haven't submitted the work yet now. So I'm going to give them a little bit longer to sort that out. But at some point, obviously I'm going to need to get onto that and make sure that the work is done. So, okay, so I've ticked everybody, crossed everybody off. Now, you would then go and save it. I'm actually not going to just save it just for a second, just because sometimes it takes a few seconds to do that, okay? But make sure that you save it before you go out, because if you don't, you will simply, you'll lose what you've got and put in there. Now, because I've, obviously I'm going to give them a little bit longer to sort that work out, then I will need to come back and change those crosses at some point. Hopefully I can go and change them all. There is a little button just there, and that just means completed late, so you might decide to pick that rather than that, okay? Obviously, kind of use your judgment on that. So some other things to look out for that are particularly useful, and that's the exception buttons. Obviously, some people they don't have, they might not have computer access for whatever reason. Obviously, we think we have an up-to-date list of those, and it is something to look out for. Something else before I forget at the top left. And before I go into that is received all. You might have a task, I don't know, maybe in PE, maybe it was just to do the, the Joe Wicks YouTube sort of exercise in the morning, maybe. Obviously you're not going to have evidence of that, so you might just decide to go and tick them all off, possibly, okay? So you don't necessarily need to see anything. But do received all. Okay, because then remember, it's from their side, and then if you wish to then issue merits and demerits, let's hope we get more merits. But if I just go and click on that, I can just go, and if I wanted to, I could go and click received. So I just go received, and then I could go and give merits. Quite simply, that would just take me to that the merit giving page in PARS, and I could just go and do that nice and quick. All right, so if I were to accept that, there you go, hopefully that will take me there, and it will only, because I picked the received, I only wanted the received students, then all of those students are the guys who are just ticked in here. All right, so I've already done that one, so I've already put merits on for those pupils, so so that's done. But remember, the other point to go and look out for is if I take you back to my just to a different class, because there is something else that I wish to show you about the exemption. This is to look out for, because the last thing you want to do is we end up giving a pupil a C1 for not doing some work when they can actually be accessing the work. So if I go through the homework for this group, it's just that there wasn't actually one for that particular group. So if I take you through this particular homework here, let's just go and have a look. Hopefully this is the right one I was looking for. Yeah, it is. Right. So if we go to assignees, right, so if you look at this class here, now if I just highlight this a little bit there, if you can see that icon, so ampersand, I think that's the correct name, ampersand, little at symbol, and if you see that, that means that they have an exemption, and all you need to do is to go and click that there. Now, I've already had one or two of these students have actually submitted me some work, so so if that's the case, then obviously tick them. That would be better. But if they got an exemption, then the last thing you want to go and do is go and say not completed. They have been given other work to do. So I know that's not ideal, but it's making the most of the situation that we have. So if you see that, just make sure that you press the exemption button. All right, there's no need to be getting those pupils into trouble. So just to quickly recap in terms of how you go and set your work. All right, so there we go. Look, we have name your class, your subject, date, when the lesson was, and you can see there what it was about. So again, you can see here a little bit of detail. This isn't the one that we looked at the beginning, but it's just telling them to go into Google Classroom. I've actually put a link there in terms of getting into Google Classroom if you're not too sure. If you need any more information on that and you want to go and use Google Classroom, you're not sure, let us know and I'll send you some information. Okay. But I know there's some brilliant stuff already gone on. I know science are well ahead of the game, and PE in terms of using Google Classroom, so very well done to them. So again, we've got standard tasks, we've got dates on there, and oh, wait a minute, look, I've not put estimated time, so let's go and pop that in there. Now, I don't need uploads here, so I'm not going to have my tick there. All right, so but keep working hard, and and I can say obviously from a parental point of view, I'm seeing some absolutely brilliant stuff going on to the system. People thinking differently. So obviously, I'm very, very thankful of that as well. And everybody keep safe, and hopefully we'll be back at school soon. So thank you.